different kinds of dating happening nowadays. Your problems are not unique. No equal to all the young lovers out there. Red flags. Okay, I know red flags is just because of one factor called cheating. Relationships, like any other relationship, is friends with benefits. A term called situationships. Situationship dating apps, which is I go for online applications to shop, then that is not your problem. Hello everyone, welcome back to another topic discussions, and once again happy new year to all of you here. I wanted to start this year discussing a topic that I believe is necessary for everybody. And what is that? Love. Right? I think everybody can live without anything. Okay, I'm not talking about the basic necessities like food, housing, and food, water, and shelter, or the basic necessities. I'm talking about the next step, the next level of what we do, what we require, what is the necessity that every human require. I believe that is love, and I wanted to discuss that topic. I wanted that to be the first topic of discussion for me as we are beginning the year of 2026. Now, when I come to the topic of love, I think I have done a couple of videos with regard to love, and I'll add the links below to this video. I have discussed adult love, how love breaks, how it sometimes ends in marriage, sometimes how the marriage ends in divorce, what is the meaning of love, so many factors I've discussed. So I think it's time for me to discuss the young love. A lot of relationships I see, people falling in love, falling out of love, heartbreaks, then beyond all that. So different kinds of dating happening nowadays. It's so nice to see people around me falling in love, the youngsters, their relationships, how things have changed in the last couple of years. So it's very interesting, and I thought I must discuss a couple of points with regard to this specific topic. I discussed again with a lot of specialists with regard to this matter, like why so many breakups are happening nowadays, why people are not much encouraged to be in a relationship like how it used to be, why the seriousness of relationship is not as much as how it used to be. People prefer to be single. The pain of being single is much less than the pain of being in a relationship. So that is a motto which I hear many people discussing around me. So I was having a discussion with the experts who handle this kind of topics, and whatever I found relevant, I wanted to share here. And I think this video would be useful to all the youngsters out there who are confused with love, or who are heartbroken, or whatever they are going through. Okay, and another point that I wanted to discuss with regard to this important topic is that your problems are not unique. Nobody's problems are unique. Nobody's problems are this is the problem faced by a single person on the face of the earth. There is no problem like that. Okay, every problem has been faced by people across the globe. When you're currently maybe going through a heartbreak, there are millions of people going through a heartbreak. Maybe you came across something you didn't want to come across. There are millions of people who came across the similar kind of scenario in their lives. So do not think that this is a unique problem to you alone and you are the only person suffering on the face of the earth. No, not at all. Do not put yourself in that frame of a victim mentality. Okay, look for solutions. Look for how to get out of that framework, or get out of that frame of mind, which would be much more useful to yourself and to the people around you. Okay, so I really hope that this is helpful to all the young lovers out there, and you can actually get some valuable points out of this topic. Okay, so let's dive into this video. I have shortlisted 5 points that I would like to cover with regard to this specific topic, and the 5 points that I have chosen here are starting with red flags. Okay, I know red flags is a term that is being extensively used across when we are discussing relationships, and especially love interest. Red flag, green flag is a topic that catches even my eye too, even now. So I'm sure this is something all of us are looking for in relationships. Are we looking into red flag or a green flag or any other flag that we can find? So one of the significant red flag points here. Second point is cheating. Any relationship or many relationships just soar out just because of one factor called cheating. Now, the third point that I want to discuss is conflicts. Okay, any relationships, like any other relationship, even the people who are in love, they end up with conflicts, they have disagreements, they have problematic situations that they have to handle. Fourth point is friends with benefits. Nowadays, what we come across a specific term called situationship. Throughout history, every relationship, every every connection, there was a definition for that specific relationship. I think this is the first time we have come across a situation where we are not able to define a relationship and we call it a situationship. So, okay, I'm not going to extensively discuss what is a situationship. I'm just going to cover the topic as friends with benefits. And the last and the final point, dating apps, which is again, applications are everywhere. These dating applications have also become like any other how the technology had been interfering with our daily lives. Technology has become an essential part of our romantic life also. So I thought I must include a small segment on dating apps as well. Okay, so let's begin the discussion. And the first point that I wanted to cover was definitely the red flags. There are so many red flags. When you watch videos or when you have discussions with the specialists who cover the specific topic, red flags, they cover extensively with regard to red flags. One prominent red flag, I'm going to discuss here only with regard to one prominent red flag, and that is faking, faking your personality, faking your characteristics, faking your finances, anything like, you should feel very comfortable in your relationship, or you should feel very comfortable with your partner or your lover or your girlfriend or your boyfriend. That is, if you do not feel that comfort level, if you do not feel that person or spending time with that person as a comfortable situation, then that is considered to be a major red flag. Okay, in any situation, especially in a romantic situation, you should feel comfortable with the person whom you're dating, or whom you call a boyfriend or your girlfriend. Whoever the person is, you should feel the relationship should flow very freely. You should not feel that you need to act in front of that person, or you need to pretend in front of that person, or you have to put yourself in a specific manner. Only then you feel accepted in front of that person. Then that is a major red flag. This is what the experts are saying. So in any relationship, you have to pretend a lot, you have to lie a lot, you have to put in a mask for a very long time. Then how long are you planning to sustain in that relationship with that kind of a fake personality or a fake characteristics that you're trying to portray to impress that specific person? You yourself are going to get worn out very soon in that kind of relationships. So try to be genuine, try to show your actual self, and if that person is able to accept your actual self, then that is going to be a meaningful relationship. The more fakeness, the more pretension you're going to involve in any relationship, some way or the other, sometime or the other, at some point or the other, your actual personality is going to come out, and it is going to put yourself in a very bad situation. So try to be genuine in your relationship. Try to be the most genuine as you can. Not necessary that you share every secret, you share every situation that you have had. At least when you're with that person, you should feel comfortable of yourself in being that spot with that person. You are not under a lot of pressure or under stress that you are not even able to be peaceful in that relationship. Okay, so this is one of the major red flags, where you need not pretend to be somebody else, or you need not be in a mask throughout when you're with that person. Now the second point is a very famous point, and that is cheating. Yes, many people come across cheating. What the specialists are saying is you need not blame yourself for getting cheated on. Many a time the person who is cheating try to put the blame on the other person, and the person who got cheated upon try to blame the cheating person. What the specialists are saying is cheating usually happens when the person has some psychological issues. Otherwise, if the person is in a proper state of mind, there is no chance of cheating, because maintaining one relationship in itself is a huge task in itself. On top of that, if somebody is going to cheat and find another partner in between one relationship, then the person has some serious psychological problems where he or she is not able to find the peace or the contentment in the current relationship, where they have to keep on seeking more and more and more and different things. That means they have some psychological thing which has not been satisfied, which has not been cleared, some traumatic situation which they had to deal with, or some kind of trauma or something they are hiding, some kind of scenarios they are going through, and that is a situation wherein mostly people cheat. A person with a normal thinking, a person who is in a good frame of mind, rarely cheat. This is what the specialists are saying. I'm not a specialist in this particular topic. In discussion with the specialist, this is what I came to know, and that is the reason why I'm sharing it here. Okay, so this is what I could understand with regard to cheating romantic relationships. Now the third point is conflicts. Conflicts, again, it's not about how the conflict happened or how the disagreement happened or how the problems happen between the couple in a relationship. It is about what you do after the conflict, how you try to resolve the conflict, what kind of changes you bring to yourself and to your relationship. That is what matters. The conflict as such does not matter. Whatever be the gravity of the conflict, it does not matter in the sustenance of the relationship, but it matters only when how you decide to resolve the conflict, how you decide to make the changes in yourself and your relationship. Correct? Like if your partner is suspicious about some of your behavior or is keen to understand your finances, I'm talking about relationships who are not married, okay, or who are, or maybe they are engaged, or maybe they just got to know each other, or they're just dating, that kind of situations. Okay, not people, I'm not talking about people who are already married. I'm talking about people who are like youngsters, the youngsters who are in a relationship and some disagreements with regard to some finances, regard to time being spent on the phone, and how are they going to fix that after the conflict? How are they going to sort out the finances after the conflict? What kind of changes they are going to bring to their behaviors or dealing with conflicts is what is significant. So conflicts in a relationship is good or bad? It varies. Some people say conflicts is good. There has to be conflicts in a relationship. I saw that many experts saying that if there are no conflicts, it means that it's a pretentious relationship rather than a genuine relationship. In genuine relationships, there is no chance that two people are compatible throughout. There is no chance of two people in agreement always 24/7, 365 days for years. There is no chance that two individuals of opposite gender who are in unison with everything. That is an impossible relationship. That is not a properly functioning relationship. So conflicts are necessary in any relationship, and it is not about the conflicts happening. It's about how you resolve the conflict and what kind of changes you bring about in your relationship and yourself after the conflict. Okay, and I found this point to be very, very useful in every relationship. The next point is friends with benefits. I see a lot of discussions with regard to friends with benefits. Many a time, especially nowadays, people use relationships to climb up in their career or to expand their business or to take a dig at their current relationship. They try to seek another relationship. If they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend and they want to make them feel bad, so they try to find another person or get in a relationship with another person just to make this person feel bad. So these kind of situations we see a lot happening nowadays all around us. So these are not healthy approaches to any relationships. If you're trying to use a relationship or a person to gain something, then in the long run the relationship does not hold any meaning. Because once you achieve that thing, then where do this person stands in your life? correct, on a specific job or a business expansion or to start a business or to obtain some finances, you're using a person or a relationship. And once you achieve that specific goal, then where do this person stand in your relationship? Healthy relationship or longevity of a healthy relationship, these kind of attributes are not considered to be healthy. Try to avoid these kind of situations. There are always other ways. Rather than using people to achieve something, you have so many other ways to expand your business, expand your connections. There is so many professional platforms where you can actually connect with professionals, and if you're not able to connect, trust me, that is not the crowd you want to associate with. That is the bottom line. In any relationship, in any business scenario, in any situation where you think that you're not able to connect, then that is not your tribe. That is not the crowd where you want to spend more time with it, because you would be spending a lot of time in conflict, or conflict resolution, or trying to compromise or trying to negotiate. That is draining you and wasting you a lot of productive time, rather than building yourself or building a better business scenarios, instead of wasting in trying to make these people understand that what you're trying to achieve. If there is no connection, if they're not able to understand what you're trying to achieve, and you have to spend in a lot of time to convince these people, or in conflict resolution, or making them understand what kind of a person you are, then trust me, that is not the tribe you want to carry along for a long time with you. Then you're with the wrong crowd. Last and the final point is dating apps. As all of us are aware, we use applications for various functions in our life. If I want to purchase something, I go for online applications to shop online. If I want to buy a bunch of groceries for my home, for cooking, or for us to eat something, we use various applications for food delivery. Grocery shopping, yes, I go for an application which is related to groceries. I download it, get the stuff the next day. If I want to shop some dresses, if I want to shop some computers, IT related stuff, I use those kind of applications. And if I want to go for entertainment, I download that kind of applications. So I'm just covering all these as examples just to show the kind of influence that technology has on our day-to-day lives. Like, technology has become an integral part of our lives every day. In the same way, even in our relationships, technology has become an integral part, and that's where dating apps are coming into picture. Like, okay, even for romantic relationships, yes, we are here to cater to you. So I'm not going to discuss like what are the disadvantages, what are the problems associated with these, because I'm sure you can just search and find out, like with any other situation, with any other technology, with any other changes that is coming to our society, everything has its positives and negatives. In the similarly, even the dating applications have its negatives and positives. So I'm just trying to cover the basics here, because if you want to have an extensive knowledge with regard to this, I'm sure you can do your own research and try to understand. I'm just trying to cover a point which is pertinent to this topic. Discuss with the experts. What they told me is that it's good. Dating apps are good as long as you use it in moderation. Like, if you're trying to spend a lot of time just on dating applications and just be entertained with that without actually going into the real world and making actual connections, then it's going to waste a lot of time in your life without making actual connections. So what they're trying to say is that you make a connection through the application and then meet up with a person in person. Go try to understand how you are able to connect with a person in the real world. The more people spend a lot of time in applications and try to connect with the virtual world, and they come to the real world and try to connect with the real people would have already moved on. Nobody is going to wait for a person who is having relationships in the virtual world and not connected with the real world, correct? People want connection in the real world scenario. So if you're planning to create a healthy relationship, try to find the right kind of relationships online and get them into your real life as well. Do not be just addicted to the virtual world. Create a bridge between the virtual world and the real world so you can actually spend actual life with the real person. So this is what the experts are saying, and I agree with this point. I believe that if we keep on spending our life in the virtual world, then we lose our connections with the real world and real people and real communication and real life scenarios, which is, I think, is necessary for all of us as humans. So this is what I wanted to discuss with regard to the dating applications. I hope I covered pertinent points that I believe are necessary for this specific topic. And whatever your suggestions with this after listening to this video, do let me know. As always, thank you for spending your time here. Until we meet next time. Thank you and bye-bye.